Alright guys, so we're back for another quick vlog thing. And today's topic, well the main topic at least, is going to be an article I found on abcnews.com about Stephen Hawking, actually. Recently he published a paper, the title of which I cannot think of. Hold on, give it 1 second and it'll pull up on my phone over here and then I'll have it. The Grand Design. Okay. So in his latest work, The Grand Design, he goes over how not disproving a god, but proving that within our universe, using science, there's no need for a god. God was not necessary for creation. And I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty bits of it because, well, one, it's relatively overly complicated, and by overly complicated, I mean if you're not a physics major, probably won't understand half of it. I don't understand half of it, to be honest, but I do get the gist of it. But to sum it down, basically, quantum mechanics tells us that things can be created out of nothing. Happens all the time. All around us. Everywhere. But they're so small that we can't see it. We can't fathom even how small this is. And things just kind of poof, poof. Not even that fast. You know, it's literally... And it's existed and been destroyed that fast. And so the fact that our universe is here and that we see it the way that we do is honestly a gift. You know, you got to think of, okay, so we got created out of nothing. That means that if you look at our universe as a whole from the outside, we're so tiny compared to everything that compared to other things, we're existing and disappearing like that. You know, it's, you know, really, I don't know, it really opens your mind as to how small, you know, humanity is, how uneducated, I guess, how some of us can be kind of egotistical, you know, assuming that we're the only things in existence that have, you know, sentient thoughts, which, as far as we know, you know, humans are. I'm sorry, I just kicked my computer monitor. It hurt a little bit. But the point behind this conversation wasn't really the quantum mechanics stuff. It was more going into religion again, because, yeah, I figured it's about that time again. I'm in one of those moods where I just feel like flaming religion. So, here goes. I read on some forums, you know, about this after... Well, actually, I read on a forum to find this, about how people are saying, well, if there is no God, then there has to be an infinite number of universes. And I thought about that for a second and went, why? Now, I can understand if there's a God, there has to be an infinite number of universes. I've asked this question many times before. If there is an omniscient God that knows every possible choice I could make, how can I have free will? And the answer is if we have an infinite number of universes that have an infinite number of possibilities of an infinite number of me's doing an infinite number of things. I love how many times I just use the word infinite in that sentence. You know, so basically every time you make a choice, you know, a new universe is created. Every time you say a word, a new universe is created. Every time you have a thought, a new universe is created. That, you know, well, actually technically an infinite number of universes would be created from everything you do. Because when I just scratch my eye there's an infinite number of universes that contain me scratching my eye. There's also an infinite number of universes containing me not scratching my eye. There's an infinite number of universes of, you know, me just grabbing something random, next to my desk and throwing it at my computer monitor right now just because I can. There every possible outcome, and even things that you don't think are possible in an infinite number of universes, because there's an infinite number of them. In one of them, the physics that we know, at least one of them, which means that if there's at least one, that means that there's infinite. And I'll explain that, I guess, in a second. But in at least one of them, there's the physics that we know, gravity, things like that, are completely different. And the reason why I say if there's one, there's got to be infinite is in that one universe, there's beings there. And if there's a God, he has to know all of their actions too. So there's an infinite number of universes created off of just this one new planet. So that's how I can see it being. Back to the topic at hand. So we were talking about infinite universes due to God. I honestly see the removal of a God as saying, well, we are here. We are in this one universe. There aren't any more. That's how I see it. People are stupid. People are ignorant, and to an extent, you have to get used to it because people believe what they're going to believe, and you can't change that. You could come on here every day on every single one of my videos, and you could tell me to be a Christian and stop my blasphemy, or I'm gonna go to hell. And you know what I would tell you? Sit and spin. So it wouldn't get you anywhere. And as a note, if you don't get sit and spin, then you don't need to get it. But religion is something you kind of have to go into blindly, and I think that's why I can't get behind it. I was religious at one point, and then I kind of had my eyes open through years of asking God for help with things and kind of having the opposite happen. Kind of deters you from believing in a God that loves you. Also, that's another issue I have with Christianity is if God loves me and God is all forgiving, all loving, and all forgiving, he loves everything, and he'll forgive them all. What's the point in having a set of rules that send you to this evil bad place if all you have to do is say, I'm sorry, and you're forgiven? What is the point behind having rules if all I have to do is say I'm sorry and I get forgiven? That's like telling your kids not to touch, I don't know, pick something in your house that's important to you. It'd be like me telling my kids not to, I don't know, just stick the cat in the microwave. Now, yes, that's a horrible thing to do, but let's say my kids do it. Cat dies, obviously. You just stuck a cat in a fucking microwave. What the hell else do you think is going to happen? I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I never have. There's no point behind it. So cat dies. And I yell at them and I go to punish them, but then they say, I'm sorry, and I go, oh, that's okay. And I whitewash it as if it never happened. They're not going to learn a lesson. They're not going to grow as people. They're not going to understand that was wrong of them. So what's the point in having these list of rules? Don't commit adultery, don't kill people. There's 10 commandments and a number of sins. Every 5 or 6 pages of the Bible, there's a new sin. So, come on, you can't wear mixed cloths. That's fucking stupid. If I wear cotton and wool together, I go to hell. If I wear polyester, I go to hell, because polyester is a blend. If I wear clothes made of hemp and clothes, I ran out of things that clothes can be made of, so we'll go back to wool. I go to hell. What the hell is the point behind that? Like, I can understand certain sins. Okay, don't commit adultery. Okay, that's bad. Don't cheat on your spouse. Good. Don't kill people. Yeah, that's a good idea too. If we all just went around killing everyone, I do stand somewhat behind eye for an eye, Hammurabi's code. But then again, you also have to think about what Gandhi said. Eye for an eye leaves the world blind. So, if everybody just goes around getting revenge on everyone for every bad thing that has ever happened to them, everyone will die. Everyone. All of us. Everyone has wronged someone except for the Dalai Lama. He'd be alive. That's it. Sorry. I lied. There would be one person left. The Dalai Lama. That's it. Think about that. Think about this, okay? Every day you get up, go to work, you go to school, whatever. You can't tell me that out of however many years you've been alive, you have never pissed off one person. Ever. In your entire life. Nobody can say that except for the Dalai Lama. Especially if you're watching this in English and you're understanding me in your native tongue. That makes you British, American, Australian, I'm pretty sure, are the three major English-speaking countries of the world. Yes, other countries speak English. I'm pretty sure Sweden speaks English as well as like 7 other languages. The Dutch speak multiple languages. There's so many places that speak multiple languages, but I'm talking like this is their primary language. This is, everybody. You could go to anybody in this country, really, and anybody who was born there, and they would understand you in English. I forgot where I was going with this. Nope, didn't come back to me. So it obviously wasn't all that important for me to tell you. So yeah, so let's see here. We talked about Hammurabi's code today. The fact that there doesn't need to be a god. Now, that's not at all saying that there isn't a god. Because like I've said before, you can't disprove God. Want to know why? Because you also can't disprove my T-Rex standing out front. But before you even go outside and try and look for my T-Rex, let me tell you this. He can't be seen by anybody other than me. He can't be heard by anybody other than me. He can't touch anybody other than me. So, but I can see him. He's there. I like him. He's cool. So when you can disprove that I have a T-Rex outside who's invisible, can't be heard, and doesn't cause damage to anything. He just kind of exists. He just kind of stands there. Until you can disprove him, I'm not going to try to disprove that you have a god. But also, if you ask me to prove that he's there, I'm going to ask you to prove that your god exists. But you can't use your book as part of that. Because I could write a book saying that there's a dinosaur out front. But I have a feeling. Now, some of you out there might just say, okay, you wrote a book that says you have a dinosaur out front. Awesome, you have a dinosaur out front. Awesome, good for you. You can go back to being a sheep. Have fun. Just falling in line with what the government and everybody wants you to be. Have fun. Have a great life. Or, you can join me. You can throw away these stupid books on religion and how to make it to a higher place, a higher, especially because, we as humankind need to move forward as a race, but we can't do this when everybody's in it for themselves. And now you might be saying, oh, well, I'm religious and, I'm trying to help better the world. No, you're not. You're religious because you have nothing else to cling on to, okay? And your religion, and you're only being a good person because if you're a good person, you make it to this paradise, this wonderful place where everything you've ever wanted is there and everyone you've ever known is there and it's wonderful and perfect and, You're doing this because you want to get something in return. You're not doing this for the sake of just being a selfless person. Look at Gandhi, look at the Dalai Lama, look at, Martin Luther King Jr., These are people that they did things to help the world for the sake of helping the world. Gandhi helped to free India from British control. Why? To help the people of India, to help them become, India, so that they weren't just, you're owned by Britain, and so you're always working for Britain. No, they are now owned by themselves, and they can do what they want to do. African Americans in America have so many more rights nowadays because of what Martin Luther King Jr. did. He did that to help his fellow African Americans. Now, yes, you could say that might be a bit selfish, but you know what? He didn't need to help the white man. We don't need help. We have all the rules. We are the people writing the rules. So we don't need help. Okay, yes, we have an African-American president, but he doesn't just straight up write the rules. There's a whole list of things that has to happen. And if you look at the white versus black populace in the Senate and in Congress, there we go, that's the word. There's more white people there than black people. Little secret. Not everyone knows it, but there's more white people than black people there. So he's got less pull than a lot of people think. But yeah, I am gonna finish this up here. So let's see. We talked about religion. We talked about the fact that there doesn't need to be a God. Not that there isn't a God. The fact that there doesn't need to be a God. We talked about my T-Rex out front. And we talked about being selfless instead of trying to make it to someplace higher. Don't make that a goal. That's a bonus, okay? You go out, you do good things for the sake of feeling good. I want everyone who watches these videos for the sake of watching these videos and learning, I want you all to go out, and I'm giving you homework. Yes, I'm giving you homework. I want you to go out, I want you to do something selfless, and then I want to hear about it down below. I really do. I want you to go out, do anything, something selfless. Help an old lady cross the street, mow your neighbor's lawn. Maybe like talk to your neighbor about mowing his lawn for him, maybe once, I don't know, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, just go over there and you mow his lawn. Not as a mutual agreement thing. No, I'll mow your lawn if you mow my lawn. No, because that's doing something for a reward. Just mowing their lawn. Volunteer at the food pantry. And do these things just so that when you're done, you feel good about yourself. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear about you guys going out, helping the world, and feeling good about it. So, as always, I'm Dan. Get your homework done. I will see you guys next time.